Erased lives. How many passed away because of slavery in America? Trigger warning. This video contains graphic historical references to violence, human suffering, and mass death related to slavery in America. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. If at any point this content becomes emotionally overwhelming, we encourage you to pause, breathe, and return when you're ready. These stories are heavy, but they deserve to be remembered. This is Burden of History. Slavery wasn't just a system of labor, it was a system of death. Burden of History. People talk about the cruelty of slavery, but they rarely ask how many people actually passed away because of it. Today we're asking the question America avoids. This is Burden of History, and we're telling the truth they buried. The middle passage, death before arrival. Before slavery even began on U.S. soil, death already had its grip. Between 10 to 12 million Africans were forcibly taken from their homelands, packed into ships like cargo, no space, no food, no names. 1.8 to 2 million passed away on the way from disease, starvation, dehydration, abuse, or some took their own lives rather than live in chains. Thrown overboard, chained together in death. The ocean holds their bones. Life expectancy on plantations. Those who survived the ships faced a different death. Slavery in America meant working until you passed away. No rest, no rights, no retirement. Children were worked before puberty. Women were forced to give birth repeatedly, often dying in childbirth. Men were broken physically, emotionally, spiritually. The average life expectancy of an enslaved person was just 21 to 25 years. There were no doctors for the enslaved. No food when crops failed. No mercy. Death by punishment, resistance, and they were targeted in racially motivated killings, often carried out in public. Many unalive from the whip. Many more from punishment meant to set an example. Some were targeted in racially motivated killings, often carried out in public for learning to read. Others were set on fire for trying to escape. Some chose death on their own terms, jumping into rivers, refusing to eat, or walking into bullets during rebellion. Even resistance became a death sentence. Slavery as a system of slow death. Slavery wasn't just brutal, it was engineered to wear down the body and soul over time. Historians call it social unalive. Your identity, your family, your history erased. All that remained was labor. Black bodies were used up, and replaced. So how many passed away? Let's be clear, the true number will never be known. But here's what the best historians estimate. 2 million during the Middle Passage, millions more over 250 years of enslavement in the US. Whether they died from starvation, overwork, childbirth, torture, execution, or despair, the toll is staggering. Conservatively, 5 to 10 million Black lives lost. Silently, systematically. Let's talk about modern disrespect. A major slap to their graves. And just when we thought this country might be ready to acknowledge that legacy, the orange old man mocked it. He stood on a stage, smirking, and said slavery wasn't all that bad. That it built the country like it was a noble sacrifice. Like the torture, trauma, and terror were just part of a business plan. That wasn't just ignorance, it was cruelty. It was a slap in the face to every enslaved person buried in an unmarked grave. To every mother who passed away in chains. To every child born only to be sold. This wasn't just disrespect, it was deliberate erasure. But we're here to say, they mattered, they built this country, and we will not forget them. The cost of erasure. These weren't just deaths, they were stolen futures. Imagine what Black America could be today. If those towns weren't burned, if those lives weren't lost, if those families weren't torn apart, Instead, centuries of silence. No reparations, no accountability, no justice. But we are not silent. This is not just Black history, this is American history. And if we want a future built on truth, we must start by honoring the dead. Final author's quote. In all the materials I've researched for Burden of History, this was the hardest. As a modern woman living in America, I cannot even begin to imagine what these men, women, and children endured. May their souls rest in eternal life, and may we never stop telling their stories. Stay blessed, America. Dr. Rose, Burden of History,